My name is Julie Findley, and I'm back today courtesy of the Port Aransas Parks and Rec Department. I'd like to show you how to make a compost bin. Now, why in the world would you want to compost? I can think of three good reasons. First of all, it helps save our landfills. It's estimated that about 28% of our landfill space is taken up by kitchen and yard scraps alone. So instead of throwing them away, we'll make some good use of them. Second, you'll make excellent soil conditioner and fertilizer. This was much better than any chemical fertilizer, and the soil will help retain water. Best of all, it's free. Finally, it's a way for us to give back to our ecosystem. Now, our soil gives us so many good things like nourishing foods, beautiful trees and plants, so we should be able to give back to the soil and to help our ecosystem too. Now, if you want to compost, you'll need some kind of compost bin. You can either make your own, you can go to a garden supply store and buy one, or you can actually just make a little pile in the back of your yard. You can also use an old trash can, a plastic trash can. Just be sure to drill some holes in the sides and bottom for drainage. If you live in an apartment or a condo, you might want to just use a small plastic storage container. All you have to do is put some holes in the sides for aeration. So if you look at mine, I actually have 3 compost bins. The first one is where I add materials every day. The second one is where I'm letting it sit so that it can actually decompose. The third one is where I throw brush and bigger items that I know will take a long time to break down. What exactly is composting? Well, to put it simply, it's just speeding up nature and helping nature to turn organic material into inorganic nutrients that plants are able to use up. So plants have to take in these nutrients through their roots, and they can't use kitchen scraps, but what they do need is nitrogen, carbon, phosphorus, and potassium. When you build a compost bin, you mainly need to concentrate on 2 ingredients, carbon and nitrogen. Carbon is what the plants use for energy, nitrogen is for protein. Your carbons are what we call the browns. This will be your dead leaves and twigs, old flowers, and even shredded up newspaper or unbleached paper towels and napkins. Your nitrogen-rich materials are what we call the greens, and this will be your green leaves and also your kitchen scraps such as your onion skins, vegetable and fruit peels, even your avocado seeds and rinds will go in, and they will eventually break down. So to start with, I'm going to show you how to build your compost pile, and you'll need to do it in layers. So first I have put a layer of kind of rough material, and these are our browns, and this will be like the floor of the bin. Next I'll add some browns, and I'm going to put in some dead leaves and twigs, which I swept up from my sidewalk. Then I'll layer it with a layer of greens, and this will be some leaves which I trimmed off my plants yesterday. Then on top of that, I'm going to put a layer of composted soil. This is some soil that's not quite broken down yet, and this will help introduce the decomposers. So composting is really just decomposition, and the real work is done by decomposers, meaning bacteria, fungus, and even insects. If you want to, you can add red worms to your compost, and they will actually do a great job. But here in my backyard, I have a good crop of roly-polies and other insects, and they also help break down that organic material. Now, after I've done those layers, then I'll start over again with some browns. This time, I'm going to put some shredded newspaper, and I'm going to add my kitchen scraps. You can see there's also a lot of coffee grounds, and you can even add tea bags as well. Finally, I'm going to put some more composted material and then top it off with some dead leaves. I like to end up with some browns to keep the flies from getting into the compost too much. Now, the last thing you'll need to do is add some water. It's important to have a good balance of water and oxygen. Decomposers have to have oxygen to live, but they also need water to help decompose. They say it should be like a sponge. It should be saturated with water, but not too soggy. So I'll water it well. Now, with my compost bin that's just sitting, I don't have to do anything except add water now and then, and if I want to, I can aerate it using a pitchfork by just turning it to get some more air inside. After a couple of months, it should be done. At that time, I'll shovel out the compost, and if there's some large pieces and sticks that need to go back, then I'll keep them aside and either use them to put in my new compost or just put them back to work a little longer. Sometimes when I clean out my compost, I find things that shouldn't be there. I found lots of these little white stickers made out of plastic. Wouldn't you know, they came from the avocados and bananas. So try to remember to take those off before you compost. And then ever since Hurricane Harvey, we all find little mementos, and I found several pieces of roofing material. You can see these do not decompose, so please remove those as well. Now, my compost bin is not perfect, but I think I've accomplished my main goals, which is to save material from the landfills and to make some good, clean soil to help my garden and my plants. So I hope you'll try it out and have happy composting. Thank you.